Hey everyone, I am back to do my monthly outlook, and today we're going to do the May outlook for the entire country. And I have my sticky notes up on the map and everything, so let's start off as we always do with temperatures. So this upcoming month, in the month of May, it does look like the rest of the west is going to remain high and actually dry, sort of say, for pretty much the entire month of May. Recently we have had pretty much a bubble of very oppressive heat build into the desert southwest, especially places in and around like Phoenix, going into Tucson, Yuma, going over into Needles, Las Vegas, Death Valley. Those places have actually seen like 100-degree plus weather already this past weekend, and we are expected to continue to have the oppressive heat continue in those places. But also, an area of high pressure, a ridge of high pressure, is expected to remain in place for the majority of the month of May. So places in and around the desert southwest and going into the Four Corners region and pretty much the rest of the western states, pretty much anywhere west of pretty much the high plains, going into the Rockies and Pacific Northwest, expect to see above average conditions going into the month of May, or at least the first like 2.5, 3 weeks of the actual month and everything. With that area of high pressure in place, it's going to produce a lot of low humidity, it's going to produce a lot of sunshine, and we're really not going to get a lot of storms coming into the area. So we are expected to see drier than normal conditions, especially going into the Pacific Northwest. Those places, we're not going to have really a big parade of storms as we normally see come onshore into places like Seattle and Portland and Medford. More of the storms are going to ride above the ridge into Canada and then come down into parts of the plains and the Great Lakes region and everything. So if you live in the west, expect to see high, dry, and very warm conditions for the majority of May. Now the places that are going to remain a bit on the cool side are going to be pretty much kind of in the middle heart of the section, but more confined to the actual border of the U.S. and Canada. Not a whole lot of cooler or cold air expected in the central and southern Great Plains, but more confined, like I said, into the upper Midwest and going over into parts of the Great Lakes. That's where you are going to expect to see some cooler than average temperatures for the majority of May. Also a bit on the wet side as well, with some storm systems, like I mentioned earlier, riding above the ridge and coming down into the plains. Not really seeing a whole total washout or torrential rains coming for the month of May, but you could expect to see just wetter than average conditions overall. Now, for the rest of the country, we are expected to see about normal conditions with temperatures and precipitation. The only area that could see drier than normal precipitation is pretty much in the river valleys of Ohio going into the Tennessee areas. So if you live along the pretty much like the Cumberland Plateau, going into the southern Appalachians, spreading into the southern Great Lakes area, you are expected to see just drier than normal conditions. I know it looks like a weird place and everything, but that's what the computer models are forecasting for the month of May. But pretty much everywhere else along the south, expect to see normal temperatures and precipitation. And then along the mid-Atlantic and northeast coast, I know it's been cool for the past week or so. That is expected to continue somewhat into the first part of May, but after that we are expected to warm up to around average, with average precipitation as well. So that's your whole entire outlook for the month of May. You can also check out my summer 2013 outlook and my hurricane outlook for this upcoming season as well on my channel, Weatherman R. And remember, until next time, to keep your eye to the sky.